Hello, I'm super excited to share what's new in Cloud Composer 2.0. My name is Filip Knapik and I'm a product manager for Composer. There are a few goals we have set for ourselves with this release. We wanted to help customers optimize the cost of their environments, especially during idle or less busy periods. At the same time, we understand that reliability of DAG runs is essential for many business processes, also during demand peaks. Composer 2 addresses both of those needs with the introduction of autoscaling. The new version of the product is also designed with scheduling performance in mind, building on a solid foundation of Airflow 2 and Cloud Composer optimizations. With this version, we also wanted to give customers better visibility of their total cost of ownership for Composer environments. Let's have a look into major features of Composer 2. Autoscaling simplifies environment creation process as you no longer need to define a precise scale of your infrastructure upfront. At the same time, the risk of DAG run failures caused by environment size constraints is greatly reduced, as DAG runs will complete successfully also during demand peaks. Autoscaled environments can also be more cost-efficient thanks to scaling down during less busy periods. In our implementation, Autoscaler is continuously monitoring the size of an Airflow queue to decide whether to add or remove workers to address the demand. Obviously, scaling down is performed in a way that doesn't impact running tasks. For cost control reasons, customers can set both the minimum and maximum number of workers that an environment can use. Cloud Composer 2 comes with various size presets for simpler deployments. You can think of them like t-shirt sizes, starting from small, going through medium, and all the way to large. Size settings of a medium preset are visibly larger than the ones for a small preset. Unlike in Composer 1, there is no need to pick GCE instance type, as size selection is applied directly to Airflow components like workers or schedulers. This model is also free of a noisy neighbor situation where worker and scheduler could compete for resources in a shared GCE instance. The environment size under core infrastructure covers internal components like Airflow queue or the database, and its size determines the performance of these components. Just like with t-shirts, you may sometimes need to get a tailor-made one, perfectly tuned for your case. This is exactly what the custom option is for, and it enables independent change of all size settings, including separate controls for CPU and memory. Schedulers, workers, and web server all follow the same pricing principles, with a pay-per-use model for CPU, memory, and storage utilization. Composer's core infrastructure includes an hourly environment fee, and the price point depends on the selected environment size. Database storage charges depend directly on the amount of data stored in an Airflow database. Unlike in Composer 1, Composer 2 generates no GCE instance charges. All compute-related costs are now visible directly under the Cloud Composer pricing model, covering CPU, memory, and storage respectively. This change may lead to cases where Composer 2 charges seem higher than they would be for a comparable Composer 1 environment. However, once you include GCE charges in your Composer 1 total cost of ownership calculation, you will likely see cost savings of Composer 2 thanks to its autoscaling and other optimizations. The monitoring tab of Composer's user interface gives you immediate visibility into the state of your workers, including their current utilization and scaling situation. The new version of the product provides visibility into scheduler utilization metrics like CPU and memory directly in the monitoring tab of your Composer environment. With this information, you can immediately see whether scheduler is properly scaled for the job. Even though GCE instances used by Cloud Composer are no longer visible in the Cloud Console or the invoice, they are still in use to run workers, schedulers, and the web server. All GCE instances used by Cloud Composer 2 are shielded, and so they come with additional security hardening. Let me address the most frequent questions you may have at this point. Composer 2 is currently in public preview, and its general availability launch is planned for late 2021. Composer 2 is supported the same way as Composer 1, even though it's in a preview mode. Airflow 1 will not be available in Composer 2. We strongly believe that Airflow 2 is a major step forward from performance and capability perspective, further amplified by Composer 2 improvements. Composer 1 will not lose support anytime soon. Having said that, I highly recommend customers to plan the move to Composer 2 as part of their regular environment upgrade process. At this point, there is no feature to automatically upgrade a Composer 1 environment to Composer 2, although we are working on tools that address this need. Composer 2 is immediately available for all customers with no need for allow listing. Feel free to go to Cloud Console right away and start your adventure with the new version of our product. Additional information on how to get started will be linked below. With this, I highly encourage you to give Composer 2 a try, and thank you very much.